All right, I'm going to play some Tour 6 and try and get some city park holes. I think my odds are grim. They should be 1 and 3, but it's not quite working out that way. I have been getting a lot of the city park shootouts, but the regular holes, it's been hit or miss. Juniper Point, hole 1, par 4. And like always, I can't remember any of these holes until we actually get on them. All right, what are we getting here? What are we getting? Massive headwind. I don't think I can get that down with a nav. And against that wind, maybe 6-9. Maybe. Probably should have brought a 2 power ball. I think it might be a little short. No, that's good. Breezing past the hole. Setting myself up for an eagle. That only worked that way with a 1 power ball because it wasn't a pure headwind. It only put me about half of it was headwind, so just enough for a 1 power ball. The thing about bringing out a katana is a katana's got more curl. You can't really access the curl because you're putting on just about all the topspin. If you've got an extra mile 9, you really want to put the same topspin that you'd have if you had an extra mile 8. Cool thing about that particular max overpower hook shot is that you can do it with a low power ball. Typically, unless you're getting that kind of wind, you can just do it with a marlin. It's not a big deal. Not a biggie. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. That's one of my favorite par 4s in the game. This hole has been reconfigured, but that shot worked on the old configuration as well. When they first reconfigured it, I was really kind of concerned that they took that shot out, but they didn't. They actually might have made that shot just a little bit easier. I know it's a tough hole to try and get to chip it on from any kind of distance. If you don't do that shot right there, your chances of eagle are pretty low. Good game. Good game. Let's see if they'll rematch. No dice. No chance. One on the pin chest here. We better clear a spot just in case somebody does want to replay. We'll clear out these silvers. Rolling chests. See if we can get an hour in. 56 minutes. Hopefully I'll remember to stop and the video just won't end. So if the video just ends all of a sudden, it's because I ran out of time. You can only do 56 minutes in a video unless you're doing a stream. So thanks for watching in advance. See if we can get some of these holes. Just so we can try them out and see what's possible. If I could ever get on this hole with a really big tailwind, I'm going to try that shot off the island. I saw Zachary Jones one time shoot a power 5 ball off that island and get on and won. I've only seen it done once. I've tried to do it. At the time, it's been a long time ago, like two years ago, maybe even a little longer than that. I didn't have a big ball inventory, and I didn't have the same clubs that he had at the time. so that's about what I want to move over. Try and pop it up there, not bleed forward so far that I end up in the rough. I'm going to end up in the rough. I usually take that shot with a rock, and that'll be a difficult chip in, because from that distance, it's a wood. My Nirvana is a lot of things, but it's not a wood. It's a long iron. So I'll probably try and put it in a good spot so that I can recover. Try play Ben Hogan golf. 2 bad shots and a great shot is still good. Yeah, I might be able to get up there. Maybe. At this point, the whole deal is not to press my luck. It's so easy to end up in the rough over there on that side. I'm going to do a 10% pull, so it's 3-6. We're at max club, so there's 3-6. The whole goal here is just to get on the green, not try and go for it. Just put myself back in play, and that great to the right killed me. That is not good. Not good. That rough right there is a magnet. Getting some lag. That really kind of ticks me off because it's late at night at my house. I'm on the West Coast in America, so everybody on the East Coast is asleep. Usually this late it's Asia. Okay, this distance wind will not be a factor, so it's all about hitting it perfect. Hit it great to the right. And it went great to the right. Good game. Good game. I had a chance to recover there and I screwed it up. See if they'll rematch. Now the tell here is if I win this one, will they rematch again? A lot of times somebody will win and they'll rematch it, but then if they lose, they don't want to rematch anymore. Let's see if we can get up there. Let's see if we can get up there. I'm going to switch to my number 5 bag. And that's not going to get it done. Switch to that bag right there. And 2 rings great to the right. Let's see if how much distance I can. You need to get way down there by them shadows, so I'm about 40 yards short. I'm not too bad, but at that distance right there, if you had a power 5 ball, you're kind of in a good spot. It's not a bad way to go at it with a big tapa. See if they can get the same kind of distance. And a ball they bring. They brought a white ball. And they're probably calling me all kinds of names because I switched to a Titan. The king of balls. Make sure I'm still going to be in the rough. All right. 4-7. It's 2-4. I'm going to do a 10% pull, so I'm going to do 5. 5 miles per hour. I'm going to go a little bit farther just because I don't like being that close to that rough. Hitting it perfect. See if I can get the rough bump. Get out there on it. You can't get it done with the power 3 ball. I've been able to get this done if you got the right kind of wind. You can get it done with a marlin, but it is definitely difficult, and you got to have the right. It really works better with a big dog to try and get up on it. You can make it from distance, but if you want to get up there, that big dog really helps you on that second shot. See if my opponent can get up. They gave themselves a nice little chip from right there. They'll have a pretty decent shot at it. I'd really rather have a chip than a putt. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. Eagle. This is not the easiest hole in the game to get an eagle on. It's unless you bring the right stuff, it's a birdie hole with an eagle opportunity. I think I have like one Albie on this hole. And it was total luck. Hitting it great to the right. Good game. Now, they were super quick to replay when they won. Let's see if they're super quick to replay when they lose. That'll be the sign of a true player right there. Come on, George. Come on, buddy. Don't like that, huh? Come on, man. Candy ass. I know there's no rule that you have to replay, but come on. A lot of people right now are playing Tour 6 because they're practicing for the tournament, next week's tournament. Southern Pines. We played 3 holes so far. No City Park. And I'm going to take a bag with a sniper. I'll take the rock and a sniper. Switch this up for a marlin. Don't need a big ball. Just pop it out there. Hitting it great to the left. That should be sniper distance from right there. Should be close to max sniper with a marlin ball. I'm going to do the rough bump. I'm going to do a 5% wind adjustment. I know we normally do a wind adjustment here, but it's always, for some reason, I can never get this hole completely dialed in. And they've reconfigured this hole. They've done some slight reconfiguration up there by the green over the years. It definitely plays different. There used to not be a rough bump up there. It was super steep in this area. There was nothing to play around with. There's max. There's min. So I'm at mid club. It's 1.2. So 3.3 divided by 1.2. It's 2.9 rings. .9 rings. Getting it perfect. See if we can get it in the hole. Get in the hole, ball. Get in the hole. Go home, ball. Just a bit outside. And I did that 5%. I was aiming at that side of the cup. I did that 5%, and if I hadn't done that 5%, I probably would have been in the hole. But I did a straight up adjustment. It would have been 2.75, and that would have put me right in the cup. And if I come here and I don't use a wind adjustment and I just hit it straight up, it'll miss because I didn't do enough wind adjustment. That's why I'm saying this hole pisses me off. I almost think the deal is it's not a solid number. It's like 0.025 or 0.75. I know on several holes here in the last few tournaments that I've had problems with where I played a 5 and I played a 10, or I played a 15 and I played a 20. And I was just like off the cup in the weekend rounds. I'd switched it up to a 0.175. 17.5% instead of 15 or 20. If you use a calculator, you can do that. But if you're using the app, it's hard to, you have to do it a different way if you're using the app. You have to take off 0.1 or add on 0.1. Going to a shootout. It's a draw. Let's see if we can get one of the city park. Let's see if we can finally get a city park hole, or if I'm going to shoot a whole dang video and not get any city park holes. Wow, we got a city park hole. I don't have, and of course, because we're looking for these holes, they're going to give us lots of headwind on every single one of them. That's the deal. That just goes without saying. And I'm definitely going to do a wind adjustment here. I think yesterday I was on this hole and I did like a 10% wind adjustment because we were getting headwind then. It ended up way off. I'm going to try and bring it up from the bottom and come around, come back down to the hole. Trying it from down here. Where am I at in my club? There's max. I'm about mid club. And I'm going to do a max adjustment even though I'm at mid club. So it's 9.6. 11.52. Jeez. There's 5. There's 10. There's 11.5. Hitting a one ring great to the left. Still not enough wind adjustment for that big of a wind. It still pushed me way back. And I did a max adjustment and I did 20%. So if you think about it, I was in mid club. That's a big wind adjustment. So with that club right there, that'd be like a 70% wind adjustment, and I still ended up off. Opening up that silver. Let's clear out some slots. Rolling clubs, rolling chests. We got plenty of time. I'd be able to get in a whole pin chest. I got to bring out a Titan on this. I got to. And what I really want to bring out here, I should switch that bag up and put a big dog in it. There's a few of these holes that are in this, and that big dog would be really helpful. 3-7. I'm going to do a 2-ring pull. I'm going to actually come over another ring. I got plenty of room on the right. That'll get me a little more on the side that I want to be on. But I'm going to be way short because of that wind. I need to be over 400. I might be able to get over there with my Guardian, maybe. Yeah, I should be able to get over from there. It'll still be a tough second shot, especially if they go with the same kind of wind. What pisses me off about one-on-one play is that right now we've got a 3-6 right to left headwind. And theoretically, since we're going straight down the course, we should have the same exact wind on the next shot. But the wind will change. The wind direction will change. Sometimes I can see it where you're in trees and you're in a lane and stuff, or you're going around a bend. But now we've got a 6-3 wind running that way. And that's not right, man. Oh, that's slim. That is slim. 6-3, that's 6. About 6-3. Let's make sure I'm all the way up against that. Oh, I'm in the rough. I'm in the rough. Oh, I'm in the sand, which is even worse. But I'll tell you, I like my chances of making that shot a lot better than laying it up over here and trying to come at it from that angle. That's a difficult shot. If I had a big dog in my bag, though, I would have had a much better chance at that. You can run it up this hill up. You can run it up the hill on the right-hand side and try and engage the slope on the green and try and roll it back down to the cup. And even if you end up on the fairway up there, you still got a really killer shot picking up the eagle. This shot right here is all about hitting it perfect. If I hit it perfect, it can go in the hole. All right, from this distance, that wind sucks. Yeah, so now we have an 8-1 wind running the opposite direction that we were just in. And we haven't changed planes. We're still going straight forward, but the wind has changed direction 180 degrees. Let's see if it stays up or if it ends me up in the sand. I'm surprised that stopped. Usually you hit a great to the left right there. You'll end up in that sand trap really, really easy. It drops off really fast. That's one of the things about all the conspiracy theories about Playdemic manipulating this or manipulating that. The one thing that they do manipulate and that they have control over, no tin hat required, is that wind. Because if we're playing out there and the wind is changing direction that dramatically, then we must be playing during a storm. I don't see any cloud cover, so opening the back door, so let a little air in. Let's get as close as we can so we can increase our odds of making it. Isn't it perfect? In the hold. El Camino. Chip in and draw. El Camote. Mexico golf team. Played in a few tourneys. Game. See if they'll replay. See if we can get some replay action here. Maybe we can pick up some of the City Park holes. And if we get them, of course, we're not going to get desirable wind, but We can at least try. I'm going to switch that bag while I'm here. Let me open up that chest. I'm going to switch that 1 extra mile bag and put a big dog in it. There are several holes that if we get them, I'd rather have a big dog. Especially I'm not sure. Yeah, those are in the Vineyard Acres holes. There's a couple of those City Park holes that a Guardian's not a bad club to have. We shall see. Juniper Point, hole 6, par 4. Shooting through the gap. I'm going to take my number 2 bag and I'm going to take a Marlin. Not the King of Balls. Right through it, take the wind out. 3-2. Hit it 1 ring great to the left. Yo left. 1 ring great to the left with an extra mile would have put me in the rough. That's why when you're shooting shots like that, they're pure layup shots. This right here, that is a delivery system to put me in that spot right there. So why would I bring a club that's not as accurate? That's why it's important to be in a clan and have multiple bags so you can have big club bag like an extra mile, a QB bag or a rock, big topper. Those would be my 3. If you got a 4th bag, you can use it as a utility bag. You can bring a variety of stuff in it if you got an APOC. All right, where am I at? There's man. There's max, so I'm right at mid club. It's 1.75 per ring. Jeez. It's 4.62 rings. See if I can get it in the cup. Hitting it perfect. It's probably going to get pushed off a little. And it did. That kind of headwind, that strong a headwind coming in, it'll get pushed off a little bit. It'll get a little bit of secondary wind effect and roll off. I thought about putting it on the left-hand side of the cup, but didn't do it. That's all right. We need to go to shootouts. We need to see if we can get, of course, my opponent will probably make it. We need to go to shootouts so we can see if we can get some of those City Park holes. If nothing else, let's just at least get some of the par 3s. The deal is that with the wind that they're giving us, we're not going to be able to learn anything at all. Because the week before the tournament, I guess all we get is headwind. Which is funny because if you're on a course in the real world, some holes you will get headwind. And some winds you'll get tailwind because the course is laid out. But surprisingly enough, golf classes courses are all laid out in one direction, so you're always getting headwind. And then you start getting varying wind on the deal. It is the one thing that they can manipulate, especially on the drives, because they want to make it so that it encourages you to bring out a bigger ball. A lot of times you'll see it where you get headwind on the drive, so everybody's encouraged to bring out a bigger ball, and then they'll give you a tailwind on the second shot. Good game. All right. I gotta remember how to shoot this hole. I had a shot all set up for this hole, and I can't remember what I was doing. Couple rings off. Let me get it so that let's get so I can see what the heck's going on. 1.8. I'm going to do a 2-ring pull. I had this shot all worked out. We had this hole in a tournament not too long ago, and the wind was blowing so that it was almost it was a headwind that made us draw over that sand. Hitting it perfect. And I was tagging it. I worked on this shot all week long, and then I couldn't use it in the tournament because the wind was blowing the wrong direction. And what did I do? I underpulled that, so it's probably a 20% wind adjustment. Need a little teeny bit more backspin. There is a no move shot that you can do from here, and I can't remember how to do it either. It was like 1.5 backspin. I can't remember exactly what it was, and a little teeny bit of right hand side spin. I can't remember. I have to go back and watch that tournament and see what it was, but it was money shot too. It kind of pissed me off though. I worked on that shot all week, and we had it dialed in, and I had a couple teammates that were working on it with me. We had that shot dialed in, and then all of a sudden in the tournament it didn't work. And they're going to get me because they came down the hill. In the hole. Close. Nice shot. Good game. See if they'll replay. See if they'll let me win my money back. Come on, man. Come on. There you go. There you go. We just increased our odds of getting a City Park hole. City Park, look at that. You replay and we get a benefit here. City Park, hole 7, par 4. Let's see if I can get this hole right. I think I screwed this. I think I got this hole one time yesterday, and I ended up in the sand, which is not ideal. I'm gonna use a Titan just because I can. I got my number 2 bag already. I'm gonna use a Titan because we've got a 5,000 mile an hour headwind. Eight, 9. There's 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to lean a little. That was my mistake yesterday, as I didn't lean any. And then I hit it great to the right yesterday, and I ended up in the sand. So I should be clear because I put that little teeny bit of curl on there. Should be clear of it. That's all it takes, is just a little teeny bit of curl, and you'll make sure that you go in the direction that you want to go in. The shots going into the cup, you want to hit those without using any curl, but when you're doing your drives, putting on a little bit of curl, make sure that you go in a certain direction. So yes, the ball's still going to hit to the left or the right, but it's going to go in the direction you put the curl in. So like rubbing up against the nubs like that and hitting a 1 ring great to the right means that you'll end up about where you would have ended up if you'd have just hit it perfect. Pretty close. That did not seem like enough of a pull. If that was an extra mile, that should have been like 4.5 rings. And they were way back. So I'm saying they didn't pull that enough. Might still be able to get on from there. Maybe. So most people come at this hole from the front and come at it from here and bounce over. I like to come at it from over here on the side, kind of wedge myself up and get a couple rings up from the top. And I want to rise right up to the hole. 4, 4. This is my sniper. I'm doing a max wind adjustment. So 4, 4, 4. Getting it perfect. And from this angle, it's just coming up and it's just rolling up to the hole. If I'd have got my backspin a little right there. Not quite enough on it, but you're coming up. You want it to hit where it flattens out and rolls straight up the hill. So you're getting a little bit better read you can see this ridge that's running along there. So if you're trying to come at the hole and from over here on this side of the sand and you're trying to run it up there, what you're trying to do is trying to ride that ridge. And if you're just a little bit to the left, it'll fall off to the left because it hits the brake. And if you're just a little bit to the right, it'll stay on the flat and you'll miss on the right-hand side. It's hard to come at it, in my opinion, when you're going straight at it and you're putting all that sand into play. I normally take this, in the past, I've taken this shot, even though I've had better ball guy clubs, I take this shot with a big dog. And for whatever reason, I've had a lot of success on this hole with a big dog. My ball guy blows, but I've had a lot of success. And you can see all the movement that's on the green, but it runs up to the hole pretty nice. I'm not going to call it a funnel, but it might be. It might be close. It could possibly be called a funnel. In the hole. Good game. Now let's see if I can do a little better on the shootout this time. See if we can get another City Park hole. No dice. It just takes a little teeny bit. Top spin, 8.7. There's 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to do 8, 9. It feels like I need to take a little bit off. Or add a little bit, excuse me. I should have added on 10%, but that feels all right. Get in the hole. Should have took off the whole 10%. And the reason I was off right there is because I take that shot normally with a lower power ball. You don't have to use a 3 power ball on it, but that shot right there is right at the hole. If I'd had my speed right, that would have been in the cup. That's what I'm saying. When you're working on these shootouts and you're going to a new tour, the first thing you want to focus on these shootouts is your distance, because you always want to end up at the shortest distance that you were from the cup. So like if you're well, the way the game measures distance, if you're a yard away from it on the right-hand side and you breeze by it and you're 4 yards away, it would have been much better to be at the yard. You're going to win a lot more shootouts if your distance is right. Your trajectory may be wrong, but as long as your distance is right, you can work on trajectory. Good game. Now let's see if they'll replay again. See if we can get some replay action now that we're 1 up. We got the rubber match here. Come on. See if they'll rematch us. There we go. Got a player. Got somebody who wants to play the game. Somebody who's looking for City Park hole. Southern Pine. Damn it. Dag nabbit. Hopefully they go first and I'll match up balls with them. Greeny goes first. What kind of ball are they using? They're using a nav. See if they're gonna get with that kind of wind, with a max overpower, you can get way over there. I've been working on a shot where I'm just laying up in between those 2 sand traps. I think of it as there's 4 different ways that you can go at this hole. You can do what my opponent did, and you can go over, and that's like in a really good spot. They're a little bit farther to the left than they'd like to be. They'd like to be to the right so that they're coming in on it perfectly on the flat without using any side spin. You can come out here in front. You can go this way and bounce over and get behind the trees over there, or you can try this shot right here. You can come in this area. I'm just trying to lay it up right here in between the sand traps. Not trying to get anything special. Where am I on my club? There's max. I'm probably about mid club. So there's 5. That'll be fine. Ain't it perfect? And that was still too much. I damn near hit the rough on the other side. I don't know if I can get up from there. I don't think I can, even with a Spitfire. Trying layup shots and epic failing is epic failing. That's bad. When there's 50 other shots I could have taken on that hole. There's 3 other ways to go at it. My opponent did the riskiest of the 3, but it worked out for him. Dinking around. And epic failed. It'll fall off and go down there to the fringe. I'm not sure they've made any changes on this hole. I think this might be an old hole that they haven't really made any changes on. Okay, 4-5, I'm at max club. It's about 4-5. Just need to hit it perfect so I can get up there and get on the green and get a putt. Recover. Hit it one ring great to the left, which is, if I'm going to hit it one ring great one way or the other, that was the side. That side works better than the other. Trying to give myself a recovery shot, not trying to get too aggressive with it. Give myself a chip. Put myself back in play, as it were. Forget tomorrow's Thursday. Is tomorrow Thursday? Tomorrow is Thursday. So tomorrow's a 9-hole cup first qualification round. I'm only going to play one account this week. I'm not going to spend too much time on the 9-hole cup. I want to try and have a little bit of fun on it, but I'm just going to have fun with just one account. I don't want to be grinding it out. And this is that tricky distance where if wind plays a factor, I'm going to end up on the other side of the cup. If wind doesn't play a factor, I got to give myself the opportunity to still get in the hole. I think wind's going to play a factor, though. And I hit it one ring great to the right, so I better play a factor. And it did. That's a tricky little distance right there with that high of a wind. You almost don't dare pull it off the hole. Because if wind doesn't play a factor, you just put yourself out of contention. Wind plays a factor, you still want to give yourself a shot at it. Let me get up into this area up here. Two 9. Yeah, I'm off a little, so I'll draw it at an odd angle. Hitting it perfect. way long. Needed way more backspin. I usually take that shot with a Guardian. When I pull it way up there in the front like that, I take it with a Guardian and it's max backspin. I wanted to see what I could get done with a sniper. A sniper shot works better when you're back where my opponent's at, because then you can just ride the ridge and roll down to the cup. My buddy Hammer and Hank, he's got it figured out on this hole. He actually makes a lot of hole-in-ones on this hole, but this has never really been a high percentage hole-in-one hole for me. It's not been one of my favorite holes to get hole-in-one on. The last couple times we've had this in a tournament, I've actually tried a rough bump up here in the front. And you want to talk about a scary shot? I've lost days of my life on how scary that shot is. Dinkin. I see a lot of people do that where they over curl that trying to come in. Good game. All right. How much time we got left? Yeah, we got a little bit of time. We got one more hole in us. And we got one more hole on the pin chest. There we go. And we got one more hole to fill all the slots. That's what I'm talking about. It's like a convergence. It's like a Guy Ritchie movie. Everything's coming together all at the end. And of course, we did not get a city park hole. What did we get? Like 2 city park holes in this whole video? I'd apologize about that. Jeez. Okay. I'm going to use a extra mile. I'm going to use a Marlin. I'm going to use all that I can get on it. And the last time, I'm going to go right on my ball guide right there. 2-2. Last time I was on my orange ring. And this time I'm going to go there. I'm going to try and set the limits on both sides. I ended up in the rough on the other side. I hit the pad and then went off and then ended up in the rough on the other side. Not quite enough of a bounce out there. Came around too sharp. So next time I come through here, I'm going to do one ring to the left off of that transitional surface. Because I didn't come around enough, so I hit this rough up here and clip that rough. I need to get down in here where it's a little bit deeper. I'll have to go back and watch the trajectory on that and see what the trajectory was. I am done playing this hole where I'm trying to just get out there on that pad. I'm playing to get over to the other side and end up on the fairway on the other side. Because I think the shot from the pad up there blows. I mean, this shot right here, I'm not a fan of this shot. Because this green sucks. Bigger side spin ball would help right here, though. 4-1. Hitting it perfect. Just try and get up there on the green and get myself a putt. Not get too crazy with it. If you're there and you've got a bigger ball, you can come with a backspin club. And I have hit several on this hole with you can do a rough bump up here. That's probably your best shot at it. Yesterday I was in the rough. Where's I at? I was in the rough, like over in this area. And I came out with my Nirvana and I did a rough bump. That's probably your best shot at getting at it if you're on that island, is to do a rough bump, because any other way that you come at it, it's just difficult. There's not enough room out here for you to come at it in a traditional way unless you use a lot of backspin. And if you're trying to bring it around, you're going to need a big side spin ball And I'm not even sure there if you can still get it all the way to the cup. I mean, I'm sure people have hit it, but I think that rough bump's probably your best way. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. Actually, I had to stop and think about that putt. We got just enough time to play this shootout. Get the pin chest, open it up. Maybe we'll get a city park. Maybe we'll end off with a city park hole. Maybe we'll end off and we'll have 3 city park holes here. Eagle. Eagle, eagle. HF, the revolution. And we did end up with a city park hole. And we'll probably get a massive headwind. Wow, we didn't get a headwind. Look at that. Look at that. Top of the hill, I like the top of the hill. I like the top of the hill because you can engage down here and go flat right to the cup, and you're not engaging this hill. You have a lot more control over your speed coming up to the cup. I know with a headwind yesterday, I was doing like a 50% wind adjustment, and I took that shot 3 or 4 times and was off. I was trying the lower shot where I was trying to come in and not engage the hill, but just try and come at it on the flat. But I'll do the one at the top of the hill since we got a little better wind. I'm at my club. I'm gonna do a max ring adjustment. Let's get here where I can see what's going on. Yeah, I don't like that shot. I don't like that shot either. Hitting it perfect. Just barely made that. Just barely. Need a club with a little bit more backspin. Saturn, Grim Reaper, whichever one has better ball guide. Ended up a winner. Look at that. Filled up my pin chests. Good game. Filled up my pin chests. Finished off the video at 52 minutes. Look at that. Made it in time. Got the whole thing going. Filled up all my slots. Getting the Sahara. Look at that. All right. That was some Tour 6. Hours worth of play. I think I only got like 4 of the city park holes, but that was some, just so you can see some of the holes that are in Tour 6. If you're playing Tour 6, prepping up for the tournament, just so you give you a little bit of prep time, a little bit of awareness of what's going on. Thanks for watching. I'll shoot a video tomorrow. I'll play the 9-hole cup. I'm gonna use I'll use this account right here, my 77 account. I'm gonna go out there. My intention is to practice, but I'm gonna start off serious and see how it goes. And if it goes good, I may qualify tomorrow. If not, I'll qualify on Friday. And I will see you then. Thanks for watching.